Good afternoon and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back, everybody. If this is your first time coming across this channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. I really appreciate you. God bless you. My name is Grace Isaac and you're welcome to this channel. In this channel, we talk about faith, we talk about marriage a lot. We cook sometimes, and every other thing here and there. Maybe not every other thing, but definitely, you see some little clips sometimes of probably DIYs or what my day look like, or stuff like that. Yes, but mainly we focus on marriage, family, and then food. Welcome back once again, guys. This afternoon, I have a very serious, a very important topic to talk about, and this is a subject that me and a couple of people in my circle we've talked about a couple of times, and I think it is time to bring it to you, my YouTube family. So what are we going to talk about this afternoon? Oh, another thing, disclaimer number one, I am not a psychologist. I am not a marriage counselor yet. I said yet because who knows? Yes, but I am not a marriage counselor. I am not a psychologist. Everything that I say on this channel is based off of my own knowledge and whatever inspiration I get from the Holy Spirit. I write it down most of the times, and I have inspiration and I talk about it. So the topic this afternoon is one of my inspiration also that I've talked about with a couple of friends, and I think it is important to bring it to you all. And I will also be looking at my notes, so please pardon me, because like I said, they are inspirations. And sometimes when you have inspirations, because they're not something that you made up yourself, if you don't put them down, you forget. You may not forget everything, but you forget some part of it. And then there might be like key points that you're supposed to pass out or pass across to people that when you don't put it down, you don't remember it. So that is why I would, once in a while, look at my notes. So what am I talking about? This afternoon, I am going to be talking about parental patterns that you should break in marriage. What do I mean by parental patterns? I mean the patterns or the patterns of the marital life. I once said something to somebody that I have noticed, and I have researched, and from hearing people talk about marriage around me, and from people talking directly to me, I have seen that when you get married, or when you want to get married, most of the time as a woman, I did the same thing. The marriages of our parents sometimes shapes our way of thinking about marriage and the things we want from our marriage. For example, I will use myself. Before I got married, when I was still very single, I've not met my husband or whatever, there are some things that I saw in my parents' marriage that I told myself that if I want to get married, or when I'm getting married, this kind of trait, if I see it in a man, I'm running. Or this kind of traits that my dad has, I want to see it in my man. And those were one of the things that I put together to make my decisions. They were very, very important in my decision making on the person I am getting married to. So that is what I'm talking about, that sometimes things like that shapes our life, and you find yourself looking out for those traits that you saw in your parents' marriage. You find yourself looking out for it in a man or in a woman when you're about to get married, and you're very cautious of it depending on the kind of person you are. Sometimes you're so cautious of it that you're always looking out, you're always alert. When the person make any little mistake, you're always thinking it back to your parents. Oh, my mom used to do this to my dad. Oh, my dad used to do this to my mom. Especially for people who come from, a little toxic kind of relationship, you're looking for every trait, and at every small offense or at every small thing, you flare up and you're depressed and you're thinking and you're worried and you're always, oh my God, this is what I don't want. But the important thing is that, number one, we need to note that we are all human and we are all different. And if after you've gotten married, after you've met that person, you have truly prayed, you have truly sought God, and you're convinced that this is the person for you, the truth is There are some things that I don't want to call it normal, but there are some traits they will exhibit. There are some things that would happen through the course of your marriage. Because it's life. Life happens. Change will happen to them. They too get angry because of whatever thing. They too can flare up. They too can, they can talk. They can do so many things that maybe either of your parents had done before and you've seen it and you probably don't want it. But what you're supposed to do at that moment is not to be too invested in that trait and in that character. Yes, it is important to note it in your mind and know that, hey, these are the things that I taught. These are the things that I saw in my parents' marriage, and I do not want it in my marriage. It is very important to be aware of it. That is what you have to always be aware of it, because what you're not aware of, sometimes you find yourself doing it, and because you're not aware of it, you don't know that you're doing it, sort of. And the person on the receiving end would see it, but you're not aware that this thing is bad or whatever. So it is important to be aware of those traits. But the next thing is that when you're aware of it, don't overthink it. Don't make it the basis for your reaction to your spouse, so that when they do something that looks like what you've seen before, when it is not toxic. Now, I'm not talking about toxic relationship. I'm not talking about a relationship where the couple eat each other and they beat each other. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about when you are aware and then your husband or your wife start raising their hands on you. No. But I'm talking about more of emotional stuff, more of behavioral stuff. Behavioral that is not toxic. That is what I'm talking about. When it's toxic, then that is another level of what do I call it now? Another level of attention that you have to pay into that, and another level of help that you have to get. But when it's not toxic and it's just more of the normal and random things that would happen in marriage, pay attention to it and pray towards it. That is another point. Sometimes we don't know the power of prayer, and we don't know what prayer can do until we try it. So when you don't try prayer, you don't know what you can get out of prayer. It's like when a child does not like to eat every food, and you bring something sweet to them, but because they really don't like to eat, they've not tested it. Until you taste something, sometimes, not everything, but until you taste something, sometimes you don't know how good that thing can be. So that is how prayer is. If you don't try it, you really do not have a full understanding of the benefit you can get from it. So my advice will be that, number one, like I said, pay attention to those traits. Number two, while paying attention to it, do not pay too much attention to it that you are now too aware, you're too invested, and you're too sensitive to the issue, and you're always looking out for it. Don't always look out for it, because you will end up becoming oversensitive, and you will end up overreacting, that you would now do too much instead of trying to fix the situation. Number three is that you pray about it. Pray about it. Like I said, prayer changes anything and everything. Number 4 point is that read books towards that character. If, for example, when I am hungry, I am moody, and I just want to be quiet, it is good to be quiet when you're hungry, so you don't do things you're not supposed to do. But what is not good is that when you're now quiet and you don't come back, even after everything is long gone, you still don't come back to doing the normal things you will usually do. So, for example, if you're a very hungry person, read books about hunger. Sometimes that will help to tame those emotions. It will help you to understand what you need to do and how you need to address that situation. So that is why I'm saying that when you see traits like that, sometimes read book towards it. And watch tapes towards it. Watch. There are a couple of good marriage counselors, I would say, online on YouTube that you don't even have to pay for. When you go on that site and you find someone, pay attention, intentionally work towards that attribute and that trait you're trying to avoid in your marriage. Because like I said, what you pay attention to, before you know it, if you're persistent, and if you're very aware, and you keep on praying and you keep on working towards yourself, there will be change. Somebody once said sometimes that if you keep saying, oh, I don't want to be like my father, I don't want to be like my father is this, my father is that, if you're not careful and if you don't pay attention to yourself, one, if you don't intentionally work on you, two, where if you're not careful, you would end up becoming like that person, like that thing, like that character and that attitude you're running away from. So that is why it is good to pay attention to you. Be very, very jealous of your emotional state. Be very, very concerned for yourself. Take good care of your mental health. Take good care of you. Make sure you're stable so that when you do that, you are able to transfer that positivity that you have inside of you even into your marriage. And this applies to everybody. It applies to both male and female. Whatever you are running away from, it is good to pay attention to it and to intentionally work on it. Definitely with prayers, because with God all things are possible, and with books, good books that you can read that would help you educate yourself. Talk to people, not everybody, but people that you think can help you get through whatever thing you're going through. Talk to them. And yeah, I hope you've learned one thing or the other in this section. This is all I have for you today. And if there's anything you want to add to what I have said today, please leave it in the comment section. I would like to hear it. And if there's anything you want me to talk about, please, I want to know. Hit me up on Instagram. My Instagram handle is on my profile on YouTube. And send me emails. My email address is there also. Or send me whatever, DM me, put it in the comment section. Anything you need to do, please, I would like to know it. Thank you very much. God bless you. If you have not subscribed to this channel, this is the time to do so. And once again, I hope you have enjoyed this video, because it's blessed me so much too. Every time I talk to you all, I learn one thing also. And like I said to you guys, I like to learn. I like learning all the time. And yeah, because there's power in knowledge. You're not, when you know stuff, it blesses you and it just increases your wisdom all the time. So thank you once again, guys. I really appreciate you. I will see you on my next video. Bye bye for now.